Due to a heightened level of security, no colored liquid or people are allowed to board a plane.
It's about the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. Yeah, it's about the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. You can't make a change unless you got the love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. You can't make a change unless you got some love change. Do it with some soul and a little love change. We started from the bottom, talking about the roots. Every time I'm in the booth, I gotta shoot the truth. My art is my art. It ain't no shame from it.
Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Boondocks Podcast Season 2 Recap Extravaganza Part 2. How y'all hoes living?
Can't complain.
The air is smoky and my lungs aren't happy with it. And like hopefully y'all aren't like in the middle of wildfires, but like I keep hearing like half of California and half of Oregon is on fire and half of BC and
Oh yeah, we went
I know Miss Lindsay dealt with it.
Yeah, we went to hike Tahoe, the south part, and first night, fires everywhere, bears playing in the parking lot. We went to, the air quality was so bad we were sick. The next day it was like mudslides, so you couldn't really hike on the main trails. The next day we went to a little park and they're like, be careful, the animals are reporting the plague. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't want to do it. And my husband was kind of pissed. So I was like, fine, we can do a little bit. But then he was like, yeah, fuck this. It was something else. We went to the beach and ate ice cream and my kind of vacation, drank. So that was nice. But yeah, the weather is a complete disaster on the West Coast.
I think I heard, I wasn't outside. I saw like 2 drops, but it didn't actually like rain, but there was enough water in the air today, I'll put it that way, that a little bit of blue sky came out in the afternoon. So I'm hoping that, that all the actual rain will come and those fires all go out and we can breathe by the end of August.
Well, it's 102 today.
It was 79 here.
Oh yeah, this is the time. This is the part of our summer where it's like it's summer, so we'll easily be seeing over 100. Easily, probably the rest of the month, and well into September.
Just another reason not to live in California. Like when it's 80 here, although it I don't know how humid it gets there. It's like easily 50% humidity almost every day here right now. And so 80 with that kind of humidity, and it just feels heavy and gross, and like you can feel the sweat rolling down. Like, and there's no like the air is not moving. It fucking sucks. I would almost rather be somewhere like Arizona or Vegas where it gets to like 110, but it's so dry that it does not feel like when it got to 110 here.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I wouldn't say it's humid. It's hot and sticky. I'd say it's more of a dry. Yeah, it's a dry heat. It's definitely more dry heat here. But
yeah, there's more desert.
Yeah,
I love it
in California.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I legit, I don't know of any other state that I could. And it couldn't be any part of Nevada. It would have to be Vegas.
Well, even people who live in Vegas don't live in Vegas. They live in like Henderson.
Well, yeah.
But, shout out to my Henderson friends. Of
You know
which
me, I'm
there are
extra,
several,
so-
actually.
You know me, I'm extra.
there's like
so I want to live in like
Yeah.
the top of the freaking Bellagio or Bellagio or fucking some shit like that.
You want to live on the strip.
I want to live on the strip where everything
Yeah.
is.
I know a few people who would probably do that if they had the money.
Oh, I totally would.
My mom would probably my mom would go to either, she would pick a place in Reno or Fremont Street. She wouldn't want the strip.
No.
She would want old Vegas.
I mean, that's
I think
actually
I
pretty.
would
It's
probably
nice
agree with
now.
her.
It's nicer. It doesn't smell like urine.
What, old Vegas?
Yeah, they've definitely put their work into it and made it a place that like when we go, I could go, hey, let's go to Fremont Street, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I actually avoid Fremont Street. I just go through the hotels.
No,
But
yeah.
there's one with a shark tank in the middle of the pool, and I just and really great Italian restaurant, and that matters to me. So
Was it the Nugget? No, that's not what it's called.
yeah, I think it
Is
might
it? Oh,
maybe
okay.
it might be.
Golden Nugget.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
think so.
And it has the like water slide.
Yeah, water slide through the tank.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, I'm gonna get one of those like cabanas up above, so you can look down through the shark tank. That's my rich like idea. If I ever had extra money like that.
You can probably get it right now. They're like, it's free with your player's card.
I mean, my mom's going to Vegas. Well, we're doing well. I guess we're going to wait and see if this is actually happening. But providing things don't get worse and providing the air is breathable, we're actually going to take a train down to Venice Beach and stay on the beach for a week. And then she's going to go to Vegas and I'm coming home because hopefully we will be moving into our new place right around then. So,
Well, that should be nice. Your train,
yeah.
Shrek.
But she went to Vegas. It was like her first thing when she got her vaccine and everything. Like that was her thing. She said, I'm going to Vegas, and she had so much fun. She was only disappointed that several restaurants that she loved were not back open yet.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I mean, shit.
oh,
now
and they
they're
didn't
like,
have live
"Come
shows
on."
yet. Yeah, now they're probably like, okay, everybody's
I
fine.
mean, everything. I know
It's
we
all
went.
fine.
I kind of wanted to go
We're all fine here.
to Chef Ramsay's, one of his, mini
Mhm.
restaurants. But
I've never been to one of his restaurants.
yeah, I totally want to go. I want to go and just have everything that they make on was it not Master Chef? Hell's Kitchen.
Mm.
I just want everything.
I would love to meet him so that I could tell him that during the apocalypse, my class watched videos of MasterChef Junior or whatever it is
Mhm.
that he does with the kids, and just like as examples of both empathy and emotion and what emotion looks like. And like I literally used him as this is what a caring adult looks like. This is
Yeah, he loves his kids.
It's so great.
He adores it. And he loves working with the kids.
Yes. And,
does,
oh my
yeah.
God.
He does.
And when he has to let one down, like he's so perfect about it too. Like I kind of feel the same way about people as he does. Like once you reach adult, fuck you. You should have figured the fucking shit out by now. But like if you're a kid, I am going to give you all of the time in the world. Unless you're an
some
asshole,
of those
but-
kids make me feel like an asshole. I'm like, what do you mean? You know how to like slight like what? What?
Oh man, they're impressive as fuck. Sure.
are.
But
Oh, I'm gonna take quail. I've never had quail before, but then all of a sudden it's like I took quail and some red fingerling potatoes.
right.
And I'm
Right.
like-
Well, actually, this is going to sound funny, but I've heard Dean say sort of things like that as he's started cooking more over the last year. Where he'll be like, well, I know that this pairs well with this. And if I put this together, let's see how this goes. And like can make a really good meal. And I'm just like, I know what chicken tastes like. I know what spices go good on that food. And I know what goes on that. That's it. Like, and those kids are like, quail, sure, I've had something similar. So I can figure out how to do it because of, this is how I know it tastes. And this is how.
It was a good show. I like Chef Ramsay runs Fox. Like, let's be honest. He has shows on all summer, back to back to back. He just runs everything. Love him.
Yeah. And I'm almost at the end of watching Fresh Prince now.
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. We're in the final
halfway through the last season.
final season.
Oh my gosh, you're like my son. You just knock it out, huh?
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
we do.
And it's funny. And
we have no other social life right now.
and listening, it's funny. I was like listening to the music, and I'm like, okay. So first of all, because I wanted to know where they got the sample from that was in the back, and so, and now the end.
He went down a lot of rabbit
so
holes.
yeah, so the end music is different than the beginning music, but it's similar. There's a sample used at the end part, which is from a James Brown song. That's not used, I don't think, in the beginning song. But I was listening to the end. Just the end part where there's no lyrics. It's just do 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 do, and I'm like, that sounds like the Neutron Dance.
He's like, I know that bass line. I'm a bass player that played this song once. I know that.
So I was like, yeah, I was like,
And then he found it.
yeah. So yeah, you could totally match those up.
Yeah.
Because it's the same progression. So yeah, I was like, yeah. So now every time I hear it,
And he almost always wants to listen to the entire theme. So
You're like, really again?
I mean, I have spent the last 30 years singing the theme song, so I guess it's okay if he just starts now.
I mean, like everybody does. Like if somebody says they don't know, like the opening. I mean, come on,
Right? Name that song in one beat. In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
But we also had like shows back then had openings. So
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
Wonder
That
Years
were like
probably one of my
about the
favorite.
show you were gonna watch. When
Yeah.
did that stopped around the 90s, didn't it?
yeah, I don't know if the last one that I saw the last one that we watched that still did that was the Canadian cop show that
Yeah.
Republic of Doyle, and the entire song, the only lyric was yeah. Yeah, and it's just playing as rock music. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't think. What? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. What was the last show? Wow.
So no one told you life was gonna be this great.
So good. Lindsay,
Good
what's
job,
the
the
opening
joke,
song to
you
Living Single?
Oh, and we are living.
Okay.
Sing.
Ooh, in the 90s kind of
I actually know
world.
it.
Yes.
I'm glad I got my queen.
girl.
That's right. Yeah. No. I mean, hey, shit. You hear the shit. You hear it.
Martin had an intro too.
Martin.
I'm
My
man.
aunt. Ooh, my aunt.
So good. I mean, of course, Cosby Show because it was just instrumental, but they changed it up. Like, you know, there's that one.
Different World.
World, of course.
Yeah.
I know my parents love me.
Love me.
So good. So
Yeah,
good. I mean, we had
all
slaps.
the 70s had, you know, like All in the Family and the Jeffersons had some great songs.
No.
I mean, they told hella stories.
Oh, yeah.
Different strokes it takes. Like it's just
Right?
entire stories.
I actually didn't
The
even
facts of
realize
life.
that.
Beverly
The facts of
Hillbillies.
Yeah,
I
the
didn't
Beverly
realize that the
Hillbillies.
Jeffersons theme was like
Move
the
it on
first
up.
episode of the Jeffersons until
Yeah. Showing them
like
moving
10
on
years
up.
ago or something like
to
that.
the
While we
next-
rewatched, I was like, that's what the song is about. The very first episode.
I don't want to grow up.
But now you got no goddamn choice.
Mm.
I mean, some people are like, nope, I refuse. And they just do nothing of the sort.
I wish I could refuse, but then I would have to somehow be able to not participate in capitalism, and that doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
I would like to not participate in capitalism, please.
I would like to opt out of the capitalism module, please.
It's like, take your asses back somewhere. If you don't want it, then that's what they would say. Yeah, that's the response. So,
Yeah, they always want to send us back to our country. Well, you're coming with me then because you're from the same fucking place.
right? Like, you can't send me back anywhere. I was here. My people were here. Prove it. Prove that I was not.
I mean, yeah,
I,
I mean,
I can
don't-
prove that I was born literally 1 square mile away from where I live right now.
yeah, ship my ass back to Scotland.
Right?
I'm fully okay with that.
Right?
Free
I mean,
healthcare.
how far
I'm
back
in.
do I have to go? Like, I mean, they could tell my mom to go back to Canada, I guess. So technically, they could probably tell me to go back to Canada, kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sure.
I mean, you can't tell
Why
me to go
not?
anywhere unless you're about to send me to Drake's house. That's the only way that I am going to.
Nah.
Love me some Drake. I had a guest on my show last week
Yeah.
that is from Seattle.
Yeah.
And he really cool guy. We were talking about just, you know, the whole cannabis scene, but also just kind of like the, you know, the temperature of the town or the city right now, and you know, and how people are still really focused on, righting the wrongs. But it was really cool. So you guys check it out. Of course, Minaj with the Mary Jane Maven, and his podcast is Big Kurt from the Smoking Section. Yep, Smoking Section. And he was like, "Hey, I would love to come be a guest host on your Boondocks podcast one day." So throwing that out there, we have somebody. I'm like,
sure. Is it big? I'm writing notes. Is that Big Kurt with a K or a C?
C. Yeah, C.
Okay.
Really nice guy. I just hit him up one day and was like, "We should collab," and he's like, "Let's do it." I was like, "Well, I'll send you all my information." He goes, "Nope, we're good. What day?" We just, we was gone. It was
get after it.
Fun, yeah. It was funny because we medicated and he was a little lit. It was funny. I can't talk because I started forgetting what I was saying. Towards the
I do
end,
that when I'm sober.
yeah. Well, I promised him I would keep it to an hour. Do you know how hard that was? Do you know?
Well, we're
Yes.
already at an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say yes.
We
I
haven't
do
even
know how hard
started
that is.
anything. So,
I mean, there was a couple references in there, kind of.
In there,
okay.
thinly veiled. I mean, we haven't talked in. I mean,
Ah,
I saw Miss Lindsay.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. And they, once again, thank you for lunch because I invite you to my city and then she pays for lunch.
There were two of us and one of you.
Oh,
So
it's so sweet. I took them to one of my favorite restaurants and we met there and had a good time. We took a cute picture too, so I'll share it with you guys.
awesome.
Now we just all need to meet up and, Dean needs to not be afraid of California.
You guys can come up and help us move.
I was going to say, once we have moved into our new house, then we could meet somewhere in the middle of there, which could be Northern California.
I like T's idea. Once you move into your new house, then we'll come. Because I'm not about to say.
It's too goddamn hot, right? It's too goddamn hot for California right now.
Yeah, no, we're talking like September, October, earliest.
Yeah,
Maybe closer to November. Maybe
if
Dean's
really,
birthday.
You guys want to break the heat? I'd probably say November.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you all know all of the details and stuff. I don't even know all the details, but Podskier is fully becoming a podcast network. Because we're on the Podskier network. There's the Podskier podcast. How Are You Now? Disputed, which is the one that Dean was just referencing. And as of last night, right, we've got Armbar Audio, which is a wrestling podcast. So that's really cool.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. Tim and John host the Armbar Audio podcast. We've been friends of theirs for a bit now, and they do the more obscure type of wrestling stuff, the stuff that's not WWE and that kind of stuff. They do like they go out and find the Japanese ones and the little obscure ones. And there's one GCW, I think he said, where their champ right now, I think, is a gay guy. So and he's like fully out there as well. So so they go out and they find. That's what they cater to. So, unique, obscure is what Podskier has always been about. So, yeah, so basically, after talking to Tim's got he's got one of those clever minds about, social media and networking and things like that. And so we got to talking and, so, and I planned on making Podskier into a network and it was kind of labeled as a network.
So many different ones. Now.
It was kind of already labeled as a network. And so I just kind of took the plunge. I did new artwork for the network part to separate Podskier Network from Podskier the podcast and just plan on, everything that we do, everything that will all go that will be like the hub for everything. And so we're going to kind of drive people to there to find everything else that we do. So if Damon and I are doing something on Disputed, somebody goes out to the Podskier website, they see, oh, well, I see you got one for the Boondocks. They see you got one for Letterkenny, et cetera, et cetera. So just kind of, make it a central place for people to go find everything that we're doing. So,
I think that's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, and speaking of other things that are cool, I've shown y'all today, merch. We've got merch.
Yeah. While he was working on the new Podskir network logo, he also kind of fiddled around with some logos for us.
Well, that's awesome.
And
I completely dropped the ball on doing that.
No, it's it's like when I get on a roll,
yeah,
I keep going.
ADHD. When you find a special interest, it becomes like. But anyway, like all of us can get shirts with our own silhouettes on it, or each other's, or whatever, or all three of us. And I just think that's really fucking cool.
Yeah, because I when I saw that, I'm like, that might be, and the font that I chose, I said, that's kind of like the cool 70s kind of logo for, I fully pictured like an intro where it was kind of like some, Lindsay was flying, it would say Lindsay, and then so just kind of line up, and then it would just be the entire silhouette, kind of like the Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, there it is. I was trying to remember what the name of it was.
It should be cool to have one with like probably the most infamous thing that we've all said, like a quote or something that describes.
Oh gosh.
It's a little bit of work for you, Dean. Get on that. Just get on that.
I like it. I think everything that kind of stood out to me, I've probably done as a headliner. So I probably have some of those out there.
Yeah, headliner. Shout out to them. I think it's a great app.
Totally.
If you're a content creator, podcaster, you guys should definitely utilize it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I got all of us on there. So. Yeah, their audiogram feature and their transcription is great.
Yeah.
So,
while we're talking about all of this, what do we call it? Housekeeping. I wanted to, since this is kind of our season ending, season ender episode, I want to shout out again to Demond and Drake for co-hosting, and to Dennis Guggen, who made the amazing pop vinyls of each of us. I want to say thank you to Sarah, Becca, and Squirrel for being our patrons. And yeah, if you want to be our patron on Patreon, you can spend like $1 a month and listen to us talk a whole lot more than you're doing right now. And we are officially over 3,000 downloads, which fuck yeah.
Woo! Fire. Hubby's working where he would normally do the sound.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Since we have to go back
I just wanted to get all that out because, those are the things you're supposed to say in an episode like this, right?
Right. I assume.
Right? I would think so. Nailed it. Okay. How you feel about talking about the rest of the season? What do you think, Dean?
Get after it.
Let's see how we go. How far this go?
All right. Well, when we last gathered here, we were talking about the first half of season 2. So we start today with season 8, which is Ballin'. That's the one where Riley is in his own mind already a basketball star and doesn't have to practice, and then gets schooled and learns the value of teamwork.
Somewhat.
Something like that.
Yeah, this was, I just remember when we, talking about it, it was like, it was definitely trying to, give you a insight even more into, Riley and what makes him tick, or, just his mindset. And it reminded me of
an understanding
a kid, but much more intelligent, just like it was shown in the episode where he painted, was an artist. Like he has a lot more to offer. But he also got,
he doesn't even realize himself that, yeah.
And we also got some insight into what it's like for Tiara being autistic and how they tried to pull that character at the end who was like a caricature. That was pretty cool.
Thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot. That was the whole Autism Speaks tirade that I went on. Woo! Yeah, I still feel like that's it. They still show the same commercial. Like, granted, I watched like the same 2 or 3 actual TV stations that show commercials, but whenever an Autism Speaks one comes up, it's always that same one where, He's singing in front of a crowd and they all cheer for him. And that's like the feeling I got from this episode where, oh, there's the autistic kid going out there and he's a star at this one thing. And now let's cheer. And so it's just disability porn, the real thing. I had forgotten about that. What was the girl's name in it?
Oh, the girl
Was that the
whipping his ass?
the blonde girl? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Ah, shit. I don't write it down. And Dean's out of the room feeding the dogs. Okay, well. Oh, well. Like, at some point later in the season, like, Granddad brings her over when he's afraid that Riley's gay. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the
And
same
he
girl?
totally just like, it's the same girl. And I was like, was it like Granddad was thinking, oh no, this is supposed to be a love interest because they played against each other. They're rivals. That's how it's supposed to go.
Cindy.
Yes. Cindy McPherson. Oh, thank you for that. Yes.
That's
Anyway.
such a Anglo-Saxon name.
Right. And she was very blonde.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think the one of the big things that sticks out for me on that episode is just Riley understanding what it's like to lose and what it's like to not get something that he wants, and like reality not standing up to what he had built up in his head, especially in his own abilities.
yeah.
So I feel like there's not a lot of episodes where Riley actually has to come back down to earth.
It's been like he went through that. It was a common theme this season because he had to have the talk with a pimp named Slipback. Had to have a little come to Jesus talk with him. And then he had this experience. This also his season wasn't as. This is when his chain was stolen. We had to bully. That was this season, yeah.
Say it again.
When he had his chain stolen.
Was that this? Yeah, that was this season.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that was, a coming of age, kind of theme for him.
Yeah.
In this season. But, well, he still is Riley. Maybe a little bit more cautious and aware of some things, but
I'm interested to find out when they what was it decided, is it going to be a reboot or is it just going to be like a continuation when the new season comes out?
I have no idea. I hope they're grown
I
now.
don't remember that. I hope it's a continuation, but if it is kind of a reboot, I do kind of hope that there's more of that introspection.
Yeah.
And if it's a continuation, I hope that he's actually grown. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I want to see them grown up.
Yeah. And like actually see these lessons that they learned maybe be put into action, or have them learning the same things over and over again. And like, oh, that's right. That's why this thing happened. And I don't know,
what
something like
if they
that.
just switch? Like, what if Riley's like hella academic and just hella focused, and and Huey's kind of like, just kind of.
Huey's got depression.
Yeah,
and
like I give up. Like
he's now a goth kid
oh my God,
or emo.
That'd be hilarious. He's like singing Fall Out Boy, and that would be hilarious. Or he's singing Dougnificent. Douglicious. His name Dougnificent, right?
God, imagine Thugnificent. Like, I picture him having like a whole MC Hammer turnaround where he becomes like a preacher or something.
That'd be hilarious.
All right. So, episode 9. Let me, since again, my producer husband is out of the room for a second, so excuse me while he probably will have to edit this. But so, episode 9 was Invasion of the Katrinians.
Due to a heightened level of security, no colored liquid or people are allowed to board a plane.
Interesting. I think that is mismarked. But anyway, because it says episode 9, but I think that one's episode 10. But anyway, when he comes in, we'll figure it out. So yeah, we have Huey explaining what happened in Katrina, and basically find out that Granddad has some family that he'd rather not think about, and they come and stay with him when they lose everything. Yeah. I like that this episode completely lambasts both FEMA and insurance in general. And it's just basically like, yeah, they were all fucked. So, hi, sweetie. My dog just came out to say hi.
Aw.
All right. Well, actually, now that Dean is back in the room, hey, so that one says
9.
episode 9.
Yep.
I just did it, and it was from episode.
Oh.
So if I do this, is it gonna? Let's find out.
Due to a
Nope,
high
they're the
level of
same thing.
security, no colored people are
Oh, I didn't know I could. Okay, sorry. So that wasn't my mistake. Okay, good. Yeah, it's all good. Anyway, yeah. Just the entitlement of the family of, you're going to take us in and put us up. So we're just going to, eat all your food and watch your TV and use your phone, and Granddad just basically having none of that.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like a, kind of a commentary on one family. They can definitely get on your damn nerves and take advantage. But how I think overall, those of us that were not, victims of Hurricane Katrina, I think not me included, but I think overall some people were just like, just get back to your life. Like, be quiet. You guys need help, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of was kind of it like, it was a upside down kind of, or a reversal in roles to be able to have a commentary, on that subject. I remember hearing somebody go, well, they have the stadium. Like, what else more?
Wow. Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah, and little kids are being molested and raped and kidnapped, and families are being separated, and, grandparents that need their insulin can't get it. But yeah, hey.
And all those people in the Superdome, don't forget that, like, the fucking roof caved in not that long before. Yeah. And
that part,
like living in a stadium is not some comfortable place. You have a cot in the middle of 1,000 other cots. You have no privacy. Yeah. You have no home. You have nowhere. You have probably very little of your own anything with you.
Yeah. And then FEMA, trying to give the makeshift homes and stuff, but they were just screwing people. Like, it was, it was another time in our history that we just completely failed.
Right.
A group of
the U.S. Over and over again, the U.S. has failed at some very basic tests of humanity. Yeah. And yet somehow, as a country, this country thinks that it is better than every other country, that this is the ideal. But we are the ones who are living in shit. We are the ones who have no health insurance, who have to, like, go into extreme debt to graduate from college, who have to work multiple jobs just to be able to afford childcare, which we have to do because we have to work multiple jobs. It's anyway.
Yeah, there's no American dream per se, when all that's involved, or
the American dream died in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't say that. The American dream started to die in the 80s. When greed became good, the American dream went with it.
And shit, way before that, just this country being built on a complete lie.
Oh, yeah, totally. I wasn't even going to go into
history. They keep trying to push it.
Let's not talk about all that. Yeah, this is this is a failed experiment, and at some point it either is gonna get better or it's going to implode.
Yeah.
And I got money on the second one.
Well, I'm gonna be on a spaceship. Yeah. Mars. I'm gonna be on some of these places.
Yeah.
Hit up Elon. What up, homie?
Fuck him. Yeah. Everyone, like, I keep seeing things about like the Marie Antoinette let them eat cake, and I'm like, that's Elon Musk. That is his whole mindset of just like, well, everything's fine, so it's okay, or like, I hate to say it, like, he doesn't care about the people that he puts out of business or who die mining the what are the things for the technology company that he owns. Never mind. I know stuff that Dean doesn't apparently, and my brain's not putting it all together. But anyway, I don't know, just like going on SNL to kind of make himself seem like, oh, just a regular celebrity guy. And I just hate him. I hate him.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. Let
me tell you how I feel.
It's I don't know. He is, I think, overall, I mean, probably for his own self-satisfaction and, to be able to say that he did it. But I do think that his purpose is to implement, technology or, create things that will help to improve this world. I mean, although he has people behind him to make it true and to make it a tangible thing.
He's a modern day Edison. He steals other people's ideas and puts his name on it, and he makes the money. He has very little of his own anything that has his name on it, just like Trump. It's all about being the figurehead at the head of this and have all of this money. Like, he is and I will be absolutely honest with you. The things that I know about it, and a lot of it comes from his own social media posts and stuff. So like stuff that he says where I'm just like, you are a fucking idiot. Or like, what was the taking the red pill about QAnon shit? He's like, have you taken the red pill? And Ivanka Trump was like, I have. And I'm like, really? You two are friends. Of course you two are friends. Like,
I mean, we can't understand rich people shit.
No, I cannot understand. I cannot.
Because Ivanka is not rich. I said, or fake, people shit. Because Ivanka is,
Oh, yeah, no, she's... part of me wants to just be like, poor baby, because she was just brainwashed from the minute she was born, but fuck.
Yeah, I don't feel too much sympathy.
I feel sympathy for her kids.
Yeah. Oh, you know who I do, sidebar, but who I do kind of feel bad for, and I'm, putting out good healing energy out there. Kathy Griffin was just diagnosed with lung cancer.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Which is crazy because she didn't smoke. Crazy. I like her.
Not that crazy anymore.
I really I've always liked her. When she had a reality show, I loved her parents, and
her mom was so adorable.
Yeah, her mom stayed drinking wine. Greatest thing ever. But yeah, I saw that yesterday and I was like, that's really sad. Yeah. So just like I said, sending out love and light and healing energy to her. I know she feels it right now. She's like, where's that coming from? No. But yeah, so that's just pop.
Yeah, she's always kind of been one of my favorites from like her stand-up in the 80s and 90s. What was that show she was on?
Not Suddenly Susan, was it?
Yeah.
With Brooke Shields?
With Brooke Shields, yeah.
Love Brooke Shields.
Like, she was the reason I watched that show, because I don't really think Brooke Shields can act. But anyway.
Brooke Shields was hella funny on The Middle, though. She played like their
never watched
really white trash neighbor. So great. Okay. So great to see Brooke Shields looking like middle America, mullet having, but yeah, they did a good job on her makeup and everything, but that was probably the best acting other than Endless Love and Blue Lagoon, which are two of my favorite movies. So I'm a little biased, but great.
Definitely can't put either of those in my favorites.
Endless Love, so good.
Sorry.
Oh, except for somebody said the other day, isn't it gross that I don't remember them being cousins on.
They were
Hulu.
no. Well, yes, but they were also underage.
Well, yeah. Well, hey.
Like really, like 12.
I mean, they thought they had to repopulate the world. I don't know. Maybe, you know.
I mean, the actors.
Well, no,
like even when they did Lolita, they at least hired an 18-year-old to play a 12-year-old.
well, yeah, Brooke Shields. I thought Brooke Shields was what, 16 or something like that when she did 16 or 17. The guy was older.
She was underage. That's all I know.
The guy was older.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was way underage.
well, shit. Jodie Foster played a fucking hooker. Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, but she was playing a hooker in a parody. She wasn't actually like doing sex scenes until she was an adult actress. You know, essentially in Blue Lagoon, there was a sex scene between these children, and then they had kids. I'm sorry, I know you just said this is one of your favorites. I've just never been able to get over the icky factor of that movie from like when I was a kid.
I wasn't thinking about that when I was watching. Like it was a good kind of love story type thing, and like, oh, you're on a deserted island, and them making it, and deserted. Now the reboot was trash. Like they did not need to make the second one at all. That was horrible. Yeah, everybody did. It's okay. They did too. They did too.
Is there anything else y'all wanted to talk about from the invasion of the Catrinians? I keep wanting to say Catrianas or something like that. Catrinians? Nah. All right. So, did we get these all fixed? Should be. All right. So, let's see if this is episode 10, Home Alone.
Due to a heightened level of security, no colored liquid or people are allowed to board a plane.
It's like the fourth time now that particular clip is played. That's okay. So that actually was probably one of my favorite little intro clips that we used this season, because it's just so it's a background joke in the actual episode. Like they don't highlight it or anything. It's not one of the main characters. It's just over the loudspeakers in the airport. I just thought that was hilarious.
I mean, I don't know how I react. Like, I'd be like, really though?
And it's something that you would almost expect to actually hear.
Yeah.
In, redneck America.
No, yeah. White America.
Let's see. So
might be Eminem. Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh my God. Yes. My man. Do you know that he sold the most out of all rappers units? Yeah. 293 billion or million? No, million. So, I mean, like, you are still just putting out fire. Once again, I'm biased because, me and Marshall, we have a thing. So.
My sister loved Eminem, but I mean, I know some of the more popular ones, but I'm more likely to sing the hook than the actual. But yeah, anyway, Home Alone is the episode where Granddad tries to take a vacation from the boys and has a not great time, and the boys almost kill each other, and it turns into a whole like Stanford prison experiment thing. And then when they get home, they're all like, nothing happened, everything was fine.
And it was 3 days.
It was 3 days.
Yeah, this episode, I mean, it was, it was what it was. Like you said, it was definitely the Stanford prison kind of experiment. And then poor Granddad, he was trying to go live his best life, and he was going to bed at like 12 in the afternoon.
Right? He should have just gone with Tom. At least he would have had someone to hang out with instead of just sleeping in the hotel room.
I mean, yeah, Tom might have, taken him on some excursions. He might have bothered him a bit and been corny, but
he might have been a little bored with the stories, but he wouldn't have been alone.
Hey, Tom might have been able to pull all the chicks though. So
probably. I mean, a married man is a lot safer to hang out with than just an old guy by himself.
Yeah.
Right, Dean? Who is both a married guy and an old guy.
He's like, I'm going to show you about old. You keep calling me that.
Oh no, he calls himself old more than I do. I tell him he's not most of the time.
He's wise.
See, like you can't see it. Well, you might be able to see it. He's petting his gray hairs and his chin right now.
That's distinguished,
Mhm.
attractive characteristics is what I call them on men.
Silver fucking fox.
We grow hair out of
One day.
places we don't want, whether they're gray or not.
Oh fuck! Right? Tell me
You
about
could
it.
just move on. I'm cutting all this stuff about me out.
Aw. No, let me talk about my sweetie.
It's
I love he.
gonna be like the opening. He's gonna that's gonna be the clip on headliner. He's gonna
It'll just be me like, please let me talk about you.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this episode, one of the things that I love about it is how both Huey and Granddad are both determined to not let the other one know that they're miserable. And just like Granddad's like, oh yeah, having fun. And Huey's like, oh, everything's fine. I gotta go. And just, it cracks me up because neither of them wants to admit that they need each other
Mhm.
or that they need anybody for that matter.
It was like Huey trying to be respectful and be, more mature and understanding that, Grandpa needed a vacation. So he was trying to give that to him, but, he was left at home with the Rileys. So
Yep.
food gone. Riley had some new drip and everything, but
Yeah, because he stole all of the food money.
and then blamed it on,
Yeah.
blamed it on Huey.
Right? For not being responsible enough or
Yeah.
something. Not paying enough attention.
After like an hour and a half.
And that just in general, that episode was each of their base characters, Huey trying to do the right thing and failing, Riley trying to be a little hood rat, and driving everyone nuts, Granddad desperately wanting to be away from the boys, but also miserable without them, Tom, who nobody really likes, but they like him begrudgingly. Like, every character's kind of main thing can be boiled down to that, and this episode is that where it all boils down.
Yeah. It also showed how dependent they are upon each other. Overall. Just like family, they get on your nerves, you fight and argue, but most times that's who you can count on.
Yeah. Sometimes your family is not blood.
You took words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
1000%. Yeah.
I love my mother, and my half sister Cheryl is fantastic, but I don't really have a whole lot of more than that blood relatives that I feel like I could count on. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I have my people where I've got like 4 or 5 really close friends that I love very much, who I know I could call up and they would be there, like, in a drop of a hat. So,
it's usually easier to do that because they're more accepting. Like, I feel like at least my friends and our friends from college that I consider family, and like I tell the boys, those are your uncles, those are your cousins, your tias and everything. It's because they knew me or, first met me probably at a time in my life when I was really trying to find out who I was and vice versa. So I would say that they probably know the purest, form of who I am. They've seen my failures. They've seen, heard my aspirations. They've seen me go through jobs, just certain things like that. So whereas your family, they don't look at you like that. They don't look at you going through the stages of becoming an adult. They just
either too close or it's not seen at all.
Yeah. And you can't change your parents, once they, because I could waste a whole another hour telling you about my mom. Going, well, she, man, don't even, man. I'm gonna have a drink. Never mind. Just go, let's go.
I mean, I get it. My mom and I just had a conversation the other day where I told her that I didn't blame her for a lot of the trauma that I went through when I was a kid. And it was like one of those conversations where both of us at the end were just like, we really should have had this talk a really long time ago, But when it's a parent or maybe a sibling or something like that, sometimes it's just a little too close to see the changes until there's been a big change, and then family doesn't necessarily react to that well.
Yeah. Oh,
Whereas a friend is probably seeing you along the way and seeing the growth and seeing the change because they actually are choosing to be around you and not just feel like they have
and I
to.
think friends are more open to what your desires are. Like, your family's going to be like, oh, you shouldn't do that. This is what you should do. Oh, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like, okay.
If I were
Yeah.
you,
Like, well, you're not. You.
in my family,
I remember my mom used to be like, I've been where you trying to go. So as I got older, I started using that on her. Like, remember, you've been where I'm trying to go, although I don't think you have exactly, but let me do what I need to do. Because I believe my name is not the same as yours, which means we're not the same person. So, sometimes it's like I definitely need to have a very serious conversation with my mom and then just unfortunately kind of point out some of the things that and characteristics that she holds that are a detriment to her and her happiness. And that's a tough thing to do, to point out your parents' faults. But
definitely.
But I think that's kind of how the relationship between a parent and a child develops or grows. So yeah, I'll let you guys know how that goes. Yeah, that's gonna be a story. But
Linz, you got anything else you want to add for episode 10?
No.
Okay. So episode 11, which is probably my favorite in this season, the S word.
Last week in lunch, Riley says to a classmate, "Can a nigga borrow a French fry?" And my first thought wasn't, "Oh my God, he said the word, the N word." It was, "Now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry? Nigga, is you gonna give it back?"
So the S word, or spear chucker.
That was a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so this whole episode is Riley trying to sue the school board and everything because this teacher said the N-word in class, and the Reverend Rollo makes what really is his first appearance, but because the episodes are a little out of order for us. And just all of the different things that happen because of that. So, and I remember we talked a lot. What's his name again? Will, the actor who played the teacher.
Oh, Willard, Fred Willard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but Fred Willard.
Fred
Yeah.
Willard, yes.
I was like, Wilfred? No, that's something else. Or someone else. How they basically got the whitest of white guys to be this character, and how perfectly it was. Yeah, and just the kind of ridiculousness about censoring words, but also that words can have power that can injure, and also our overly litigated society, and kind of touching on all that. And
I mean,
there was a lot of little
and I
things.
think that the teacher, he was, I don't want to say naive, but some teachers really
I
do
would
see
say
the
naive.
good things and the good side of children, and kind of just let it go. So I think that of course it's animation, but I think he had good intentions when he was just trying to let Riley be Riley, and then it blew up, because they want to be a little niggerish,
yeah,
and take advantage, of the situation. So yeah,
I would absolutely agree with you. The Riley is a good example of kids that I work with. They're not really bad. They just kind of have this act that, for Riley, is probably a lot of trauma over losing his parents so young, and feeling like he has to be this person from where he was from instead of this person with money that he now
coping
is.
mechanism,
And
because kids don't understand
exactly.
why they feel the
He's
way
a
they feel or why
kid.
they do what they do. They don't understand yet.
Right.
So But in human nature, we do know how to, how to cope and how to, adjust to be able to make it through. So, like, that was his, that's Riley. That's what he does. Riley, I don't want to say he's a hustler, but he does what he needs to do to kind of get through, But yeah, that was a funny episode.
Yeah.
Just the shit that the teacher was saying was just golden.
And how, yeah, I do like that you use the word naive, because when I have been referred to in that way or in any derogatory way, it was never from a place of positivity, whereas that teacher's intention was, I'm going to get on your level and I'm going to talk your lingo and I'm going to talk to you like a friend instead of like your superior. And, I don't quite go that far with the kids that I work with, but in my classroom, you can swear and you can say all that kind of shit and you're not going to get in trouble. Because it's whatever, it's words. It's not going to hurt anybody. Get it out here so you don't do it where you're not supposed to, and learn how to code switch in that way. And, that teacher just didn't understand that was going too far.
Yeah. I would say it's tough now, where hubby teaches, I will say this. Some of these young, non-melanated women try. You go into it with the greatest intentions, but then you end up making it, like I've said before, like a, Michelle Pfeiffer type of film where you're just coming in and you're playing savior, but you're not, because you're not taking the time to really know, or get to understand the culture, the motivation, the purpose or the reason behind the behavior of your students, which, are more urban. So sometimes, the attempt at doing something that would be considered a good deed is not that. Like, you're doing more damage than you are good. But like I said, with this, with the teacher, I think he was just really naive and just trying to let, especially how old he is, Riley's what I would say, fourth grade.
Riley, I would say is like second or third.
Oh, yeah.
He's 8 years old. Yeah. I would say like maybe third grade.
So I think at that point is when you're really trying to, because especially for boys and Black boys, about fourth grade is that where you need to make sure that they're
fourth grade is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I love fourth graders. Third, fourth, and fifth. Third through sixth is about like my niche area. I love that age group, but they are terrible. They're terrible to each other. They're terrible. Like, they don't know. They don't understand what is happening to them. And it's like right at the beginning where the hormones are just starting to like fuck everything up in their brain.
And they're starting to learn about...
They're little babies, but they want to be grown up, or they want to be big kids. I think
they're starting to learn about gender roles and this and that. And,
yes,
and that's
definitely.
Confusing, especially for like my son, Jax, he, has tons of girls. And he happened to say something this summer like, well, I have a lot of girlfriends. Or, he goes, girl, ... friends. He wants to make free pathetic fun. But,
right. It's very important.
I told him, I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, your dad has, still to this day, it's just more friendly with females, and I'm more friendly with guys. Like, there's no rule to it. I remember him being in like second grade, and because he hung out with all girls, they were playing with dolls. And one kid in his class was trying to give him, grief for it. And I told him, I said, son, he wishes those little girls would play with him. Wishes, whether they're playing with dolls or not. So, I definitely see that, how an educator would maybe want to, I don't want to say tiptoe, but just allow them to be who they are and who they're coming into, because that's such an imperative age, I think.
I like to let them be who they are and correct misinformation.
Yeah.
Like, using the gender role story that you just, like, the way that I can relate to that is thinking about, I had a Native student a few years ago, and in his culture, you grow your hair out as a sign of respect for your ancestors, and then when someone important dies, you cut the braid. So he had been growing out his hair his whole life, and he was a fifth grader at this point, and kids were starting to make fun of him because his hair went down the middle of his back.
Jealous?
And
was banging.
What was
I
it?
said they was jealous because his hair was banging. Like, what are you?
Oh, it's
Like-
gorgeous. His hair was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like this kid definitely mixed with some black. His mom, I think, was black and white, and I think dad was native, but I might be a little bit wrong on that. But gorgeous hair. Like everyone I know would kill to have this hair. But the point was more that they were like, you know, trying to make him feel somehow demasculated because he had this hair. And and this was a kid who had behavior and emotional stuff already, hence them being the kid I worked with. And they would get in fights constantly because of it. They would, you know, like it basically took me going, have you ever told them why you grow your hair out? Have you ever told them why it's important to you, or, you know, like that sort of thing? And then with the other kids, it's like, you don't get to decide what a boy does or a girl does or what anybody does. That's not you. You are not that person. But like, not just telling them that it's not okay to do that, but also telling the other boy that embrace who you are and be proud of it, and tell them to shut the fuck up, because that is your family that they are insulting. That is your ancestors. It is important. You know, it is okay to tell them to stop. It's not okay to punch somebody because they were an asshole. I said under my breath that, you know, don't do it, Dean. Dean's like, I would punch somebody for being an asshole.
Yeah. Especially when it's family involved. Like a lot of people, you know, they, like we said before, they may get on your nerves, but don't you dare say shit about my family. You know, so wow. Kids, I always say kids are assholes.
Yeah. All right. So this next episode, I was not a part of. That was the week that I had what me and my oldest friends call a tea party, because all of our names start with T. And so we had a tea party that night. So I'm going to let y'all talk about the story of Catcher Freeman. You want to hit the clip there, Dean?
See, that's your problem. You be believing anything somebody tells you or put in a book. See, I keep my mental mind extra secure. Nothing gets in.
And then Lindsay also had some music that she wanted included from this.
You want to do that right now?
Take our black asses out of here. Won't you take our black asses out of here? Won't you come save us, catch up, and kill all these crackers? Lord, take our black asses out of here. Sing this motherfucker now. Take our black asses out of here. You a bitch, nigga. Take our black asses out of here. Burn your shit down. Come save us, catch up, and kill all these crackers. Take our black asses. Oh, niggas. Out of quit hating and get freedom, my nigga.
That is awesome. I need like Kanye to remix that or something. Fire.
Tell me what y'all remember from that episode.
Oh, it's just.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, it's good. I mean, really, it would be good if you did watch it, like to hear your thoughts, because, you know, we talked it live, but it was just about, to me, like misinformation, honestly. Like that tapped into a lot of the fake news and a lot of the arguments you see going down in the media and on Twitter. And, oh, you know, the vaccine makes your blood turn into magnets. And it's just funny. Like why I picked that music is because even to the level of like, Magruder's taking it all the way back to folklore, right? Like the things we've heard before the dawning of the internet, and how in Uncle Ruckus's version, they're singing, "Don't trust those new niggas over there," versus in Granddad's version, they're singing, "Take our black asses out of here." And it's just showing you how misinformation can definitely, and not even misinformation, I guess, just information in general, can just be twisted and manipulated. And when we get the real story, we find out that Uncle Ruckus is correct, that Granddad is correct. Like, so it's just all that good stuff about where you find your education and what you put your trust in.
Yeah, it's like each part has had its own set of truth. I mean, there was
That's usually what happens.
Yeah, there was facts from both sides, and then once you realize what the true story was that Huey read off at the end, you realize, oh, well, so yeah, I can see where you got that mistake from about how he was, how basically it was two people. No, it was one person. And that's what ended up happening with him. So yeah, I think, that's
it's like conflict management. There's 3 stories. There's his story, her story, and the true story.
Right. And that's basically what it ended up being. So yeah, everybody's got their own truth, but the facts may be a little misunderstood.
And this is just me being petty. Like Huey reads the definition, or he reads the story off Wikipedia, quote unquote. Y'all, anyone can edit Wikipedia. So is that reliable? I don't know about that shit.
Right.
Was it back then, if he was reading it off of Wikipedia back then, was it as easy? Like, did people understand that they could just go on and change it, or was it just a bunch of nerds who were doing it?
It was
at that
honestly
time?
easier, because a wiki is kind of like a tech kind of technology thing to be. I'm being so nerdy, you guys. So anyone, if you have a wiki, anyone who participates in the community can generally edit it. But Wikipedia now has become so policed by certain communities and by the platform itself. Like, you have people who are like appointed gatekeepers almost. So like now they keep it a lot more on lock and a lot more rigorous around making sure inaccurate information doesn't get in there.
Okay. I just hear all the time about people like changing shit on celebrities who do stupid shit. So
Yeah, I think because it became more of an
you can go in there
thing where people would go and use the information from there. So I think
right. That was when it was intended.
Yeah, you can go in there right now and edit something. You can, and it shows that it's edited, but they'll come right in behind and change it right the fuck back in a few minutes. Because I've done that before, just because I knew I could. I can go in there and put some bullshit in there and save it, and then 5 minutes later it was gone. But once I had it saved that it was on my screen, I could do a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's a troll level that I honestly hadn't put much thought into. Obviously you have. Anything you wanted to add to that, MJ?
Nope. You guys are right where I am.
All right, so next episode, we can talk about gender roles a little bit more. We got the story of Gangstalicious Part 2.
How often do you have dreams about men kissing? Shut up. Never dream about my heroes kissing other men. Man, stop. This whole conversation is making me uncomfortable. I dreamt about Muhammad Ali just last night, but he was fighting Joe Frazier, not kissing him. Gay ass nigga. Shut up. Oh, I ain't listening to you.
So this is obviously the episode where Riley confronts the idea of his idol being gay. And in the process thinks that maybe he might be too, because he likes these kind of clothing and things that might not be seen as very masculine. And now, to be completely fair, at the time that this episode came out, I probably I definitely would not have had the same thoughts that I have now. Now I'm like, well, whatever. Boys can wear pink. They can wear dresses. I don't fucking care. It's all just clothing. But like, I also know that that's not a mainstream idea. So
Yeah. I mean, it's changed so much now. So
yeah, queerness has been embraced so much more than just like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, especially. Shit like no, I'm gonna get the date wrong on it, so I'm not gonna even say it. But like things that happened back then versus the same sort of thing now it's a very different reaction that society would have to it. These days you see high fashion models of men's clothing where the gender line is very blurred and they are very much wearing what is thought to be women's clothing, but no, they're men's clothing because it's haute couture. But it just, in my opinion, clothes don't make a gender. Gender doesn't make a gender. So.
I just really hope we get to see Gangstalicious team up with DaBaby in the reboot.
You just said this also.
Oh, that fucker.
That would just make my life.
The baby.
All right, we're getting close to the end here. Episode 14 is the hunger strike, where Huey tries to organize a boycott of BET. And well, it's just BET, which is terrible. Here we go.
Welcome to BET headquarters. I'm Deborah Level. It's 2 p.m., so it's time for our morning staff meeting. Our leader, Bob Johnson, had a dream of creating a network that would accomplish what hundreds of years of slavery, Jim Crow, and malt liquor couldn't. The destruction of black people!
Black people. Black. Now, I this episode and episode 15, which originally did not air because of the whole controversy around it. Every time I think of BET now, this is what I think of. Like when in our Patreon patrons earlier, I was mentioning, actually, I don't know if it got recorded or if it was before we were recording. I was talking about Tyler Perry's new show on BET, and I was wondering what on BET isn't a Tyler Perry show. Like, I don't feel like BET has necessarily grown in the last 15 years. And if they have, it's because of Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm gonna tell you what I watch.
I honestly
like, the
don't
New
know.
Edition story or the New Edition movie, and then like Bobby Brown. That's probably the only thing that I've like purposely turned it to BET for. Other than that, I can't fuck with you guys. Like I just, yeah. I mean, bring Video Soul back. Bring Donnie Simpson. Like, that was the good stuff.
Sorry, I just got a message from somebody. I got distracted. I apologize. So what were you saying? Sorry.
I was just saying, like, I haven't turned it there, like, like our conversation we had before, unless they take it back to old school where it was Video Soul and, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it was, we had Sita's World, which was, a animated homegirl, you know what I'm saying? Like, and she was just doing a little much. And that started kind of like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing, BT. It was like they felt like they had to change drastically for our generation, and just because the music was changing, I guess they thought they had to be just as ratchet. I don't know.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I kind of, I kind of wonder if when we watch the movie Bad Hair, I don't know if everybody's seen it, but
I haven't actually seen it.
No, well, yeah, we watched it. The
one with the weave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of the other,
which was they split off from MTV and started a black station, which was not listed as BET. So I kind of wonder if that's really what that was based on.
It was like a black music station.
I think so.
So it was like
the guy who was on SNL, who was in it, Pharaoh. Yeah. I know that he had something to do with like the production or the writing or whatever, and that's kind of what the idea was the show. Even when we tried to own something, it still was just riddled with issues and insecurities and stereotypes, and trying to keep the wrong audience or the wrong people happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they bought into the stereotypes.
Yeah.
Even though, this is what they say is that we're doing, so we must be doing it. So let's put it on.
Well, and that's exactly one of the characters too. Like completely, they wanted her to change like her whole look and stuff, and she was like, and her look was, like black,
Right.
So
right.
that was the problem. Was you were too African, and yeah, so yeah, that.
Can you be more Cosby Urban.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, this episode and episode 15, which is the Uncle Ruckus reality show, it lampoons BET, yes, but it's scathing in its like rebukes against the people who actually work there. Like each character is based on someone who actually is a part of or was a part at the time of the broadcast crew or whatever you call that. So like it's totally understandable that these two episodes were never aired originally, because you can see exactly who they're talking about. You know exactly who they're talking about if you know anything about the story, the backstory there, which we went over when we did this episode originally.
Yeah, did we talk about how Reggie Hudlin was the first executive? He worked for Fox at the time and took the Boondocks into Fox. And so therefore, because of that, he ended up getting a producer credit, even though he had nothing to do with the show aside from bringing it to Fox, which Fox then rejected.
Wow.
So Reggie Hudlin, who was parodied as Wedgie Rudlin in that episode, that's kind of, so I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I wonder.
There was like a lot of grudges laid bare in these two episodes. And they go very much together. It's like in the first episode, it's almost a joke about the Uncle Ruckus reality show. And then they actually do it because they think the white guy wants it. Do we have something from 15, actually?
I got a question.
Of course you do. You didn't go to Harvard.
Do you have any experience running a network?
Okay, see now? You're a hater. You're fired, so get on out of here.
I've been paid in 3 months. This is basically volunteer work for me.
Oh, well, quiet down so the rest of us who are getting paid can work. Thank you.
And that was Wedgie Rudlin.
Voiced by Donald Faison.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Okay, now I hear it. Anything you guys want to talk about in those two episodes that we haven't already?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's all basically just the destruction of Black culture through television geared toward Black people to make them fit into the stereotype of Black people that make white people comfortable.
Which is kind of what Fox News does for Hicks.
Yep.
So if they can keep the ignorant more ignorant because of their ignorance that they're putting out there, then that makes them money.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But
yeah.
I mean, that honestly, that to me, that last episode, I mean, it was really well written and it was kind of sad, you know. I mean, the entire, I mean, Ruckus. Just watching Ruckus. I mean, we know
Ruckus is kind of sad just on his own.
But that, I mean, that was even more sad.
Yeah.
That, you know, once he found out, once he was told he was Black, that just how crushing that was to him. He had bought into his whole fallacy of him having revitiligo. That, yeah, the truth just crushed him. And so, I mean, fortunately, it didn't take much for him to get back to how he was. But yeah, he's a sad tale, Ruckus. And I know we're going to get up to that episode. I think it's this upcoming season about how Ruckus became Ruckus.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that was season 2 in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Nut.
In Magruder's nutshells.
Magruder's. It was. So, yeah. What's your guys' favorite episodes from this season? Like mine for sure was the
Me,
S
it's
word.
definitely Gangstalicious.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Mos Def or Yassine Bey. I mean, he's a very clever person. I mean, just himself. And just a brilliant guy. So yeah, I loved his take on how he would imagine that would turn out. And I think I think he did a great job. I mean, it's not like it's like he played him as a real person. So you see so many gay characters played as some sort of parody. And I think they did really well with, what you would at that time have imagined a gay rapper to be like.
Yeah.
So
props
to him.
The pink bulletproof, not bulletproof vest. It's probably my favorite, just little tidbit thing.
The cut in the back of the shirt
for the gut, yeah, showing off his butt crack. Like it still sticks with those stereotypes about like the sagging pants with the butt crack showing, and the short skirts or crop tops so you can see the V and shit, and like. But yeah, no, Magruder managed in that one. It could have easily become offensive. Especially in hindsight, it could have easily become offensive. And I think instead of offensive, it actually shows it's more sad now because, we talked about it's sad for Ruckus that he believed his lie, but Magnificent is trying so desperately. Gangsta-licious, sorry, thank you, is trying so desperately. And I knew I said it wrong too, because I'm like, wait. But he's trying so desperately to believe that everyone around him believes that he's straight. Because that closet is safe and comfortable for him. And it's been blown wide open by this, story that some girl said. And
well, the other thing I just realized, it just kind of clicked for me. What was funny is he can't come out because he's not going to be seen less than a man. And how many times has he been shot?
Right. Right.
It's not like he hasn't taken some lead.
It's all toxic masculinity. It's masculinity tied into the surface instead of what you actually do with it. Tied into what you look like and how you act, not about who you are.
Yeah.
MJ, which one was your favorite this season?
I don't know. Probably tossed up between the last couple episodes and then the S word, probably.
Yeah, S word was really
it was well done.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Oh yeah,
and it was good.
It was poignant. I mean, I like that they had a true story that it was based off of, and then change it up enough where it didn't. You didn't lose sight of what originally happened, and then you kind of got their humorous look at it. So yeah. It was good. I liked it. And Fred Willard, rest in peace. Great fucking guy.
I don't think they could have gotten a better voice actor for that. Not one that would be so believable and also you believe that they really did not mean it.
Yeah. S word was, for me, that was great.
What about things you're looking forward to in season 3?
You know what? I don't remember. I remember season 1 and season 2. I don't remember season 3 at all. So I'm just looking forward to.
So it'll be brand new.
I'm looking forward to Dick riding Obama.
That's right. Is season 3 the one I like to do hood rat shit with my friends? Or yeah. Okay. So in season 3 is the episode that made me want to do this podcast. So that's going to be a whole thing when we get to it. Just so y'all know.
Smoking with cigarettes.
Smoking with cigarettes. All right. Well, is there anything else that we need to pass on to people?
Just a little side thing that came out this week. Delroy Lindo is going to be playing Mr. Anansi in the
Mr. Nancy.
Anansi, Mr. Nancy, yes.
Yes, he's referred to as Mr. Nancy in this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I'm super excited about because Delroy Lindo is fucking amazing, and Anansi Boys is probably my favorite Neil Gaiman
a really good book, yeah.
And I've so far very much liked every adaptation, I think, that Gaiman has done. I'm trying to think now.
I don't know.
I mean, I really liked American Gods, but I think that it could have been done better. And then I got really upset and just stopped.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. But the fact that they're doing Anansi Boys, which technically is a sort of sequel to that, because it's later in Anansi's life.
Yeah.
The end of Anansi's life. But anyway, we're talking nerd shit over here.
I was like, I'm just going to pretend like I know what you guys are.
Yeah.
Do you not know who Del Orlando is, though?
But yeah.
Okay, good.
But so Anansi is an African trickster god.
Yes.
Also,
you never heard
the spider.
Yeah, the spider folk tales, African folk tales about Anansi the spider.
If I did, I have. Yeah.
Oh man, those were super popular when, with our generation. There was a whole series of these folk tales that got pushed out in America in like the 80s.
Yeah, if you get a chance, the Anansi Boys, great book. I loved it on Audible. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. I will look into that.
Yeah, and Orlando Jones played him in American Gods.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which
it was amazing.
Amazing. Like I only really knew Orlando Jones as a comedic actor before that. And I was hesitant when I heard that he would be playing this particular character, but he played it like so much better than I could have imagined. Yeah. And he still was fired for it because douchebag white people.
That's how I heard about him when he did his interview.
Because Anansi is like black power. Like Anansi's like, I'm going to get all of the slaves to revolt and sink this fucking slave ship. And we might all die, but at least we won't live as slaves. Like that kind of a like rousing speech. That's how Anansi came to America.
Yep.
Nice.
So
I'm going to have to check it out.
Yep.
All right. Any final thoughts? Anywhere anyone can catch you or anything like that?
Same old.
Talking trash, and then what is yours? I just keep MJ, the marijuana maven. I can't think of what.
Menage
with Mary Jane. That's right. I knew there was another one.
There's so many M's. There's so many M's.
It's so many M's, and it's late. It's late at night on a Tuesday now.
Now say disputed with Demond and Dean.
Oh yeah, disputed with Demond and Dean. At least I didn't say Diamond or Demon or what was the other one? Desmond. I said Desmond the other day. I'm like, fuck. Why can't I get it right? I'm sorry, Demond. Okay.
All right.
I love all you guys. I will see you soon.
So much.
Wait, when is our next episode going to be? Are we going to be here in a week?
Are we taking a week off or jumping right into episode 1?
I am going camping from Wednesday through
week off.
So, yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Get it.
All right.
Is it me?
Any last words?
Okay. I think it's me
Lindsay?
tonight.
Oh, it's TR.
No.
Right. Love you.
All right. Bye.
Love you.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I need you to get the hell up out of here.
Hey, thanks for joining us again as we make our way through the trials and tribulations of the Freeman family. We'll see you back again in 2 weeks for season 3. It's a Black President, Huey Freeman.
Want to know where to find us on the social medias or where to subscribe to the podcast? Just head right over to www.theboondockspod.com/links.
Have a stupid white people question you want to leave us? Email us at host@theboondockspod.com or leave us a voicemail at 760-933-8636. That's 760-we-3-UNDO.
Shout out to the artists who've created our intro and outro tunes. Our intro is #MakeAChange by KIRK. You can find them on Spotify, iTunes, and Tidal. Our outro is Good Times by Audio Binger. You can find them on freemusicarchive.org and YouTube.